أهلا بكم أصدقائي طلاب الصف الثالث الإعدادي لغات. بنكمل مع بعض دراسة منهجنا إنجلش وورلد 9، والنهاردة هنبدأ في دراسة يونت 9 اللي عنوانها It's an issue. معكم مستر محمد سيف. يلا بينا نبدأ قراءة الكلمات. premature premature معناه يحدث قبل الأوان، وده الأمريكان pronunciation. ممكن ننطقها كمان premature mature. أوكي، معناه happening too soon. respiratory ده الأمريكان برضو بيقول لنا the act or process of breathing، اللي هو حاجة تنفسي. ممكن ننطقها respiratory كمان، ده البريتش. congestion معناه ازدحام أو traffic jam. campaigner campaigner ده الشخص المشارك في حملة. بيقول لنا a person who takes part in a campaign اللي هي حملة، a series of activities to produce a particular result. هي سلسلة من الأنشطة بنعملها عشان نوصل لهدف أو نتيجة معينة. contributor contributor يعني مشارك أو مساهم. somebody or something that plays a significant part، شيء أو شخص بيلعب دور مهم in bringing about an end or result، في إحضار نتيجة أو نهاية. diabetes ده مرض السكري أو السكر يعني. a serious illness مرض خطير because of not having enough insulin، بسبب عدم وجود أنسولين كافي. diabetes، والشخص مريض السكر بنقول عليه diabetic. lead ده اللي هو الرصاص. a metallic element found mostly in combination، بيوجد غالبا في اتحاد مع and used especially in pipes, batteries, etc. نلاقيه غالبا متحد مع حاجات تانية، استخداماته يعني زي المواسير وزي البطاريات. pollution تلوث، the action of making land, water, air, etc. dirty or not safe. الحاجات دي كلها ما تبقاش آمنة لما تبقى ملوثة. bloodstream مجرى الدم، the flow of blood that moves through heart or body. carbon dioxide ثاني أكسيد الكربون، a gas that is produced when certain fuels are burned. عارفين طبعا بينتج من إيه. begin to dry up يقلل أو يختفي، يبدأ يجف يعني. disease and disappear. beneficial to you يعني مفيد لك. for your own good. individual freedom اللي هي حرية شخصية. individual freedom being able to do what you want، تقدر تعمل اللي أنت عايزه. not an option يعني ليس اختيار. not a choice we have. a real concern اللي هو اهتمام حقيقي. something to worry about. ultraviolet rays violet ده اللون البنفسجي. ultraviolet rays اللي هي أشعة فوق البنفسجية. exhaust fumes اللي هو العادم، عدم السيارات مثلا. smoke or gases that cars or other vehicles emit، سواء السيارات أو أي حاجة تانية بتنتج عن المركبات. greenhouse gases طبعا غازات الاحتباس الحراري، أو اللي احنا بنقول عليها صوبة، يعني هي غازات الاحتباس الحراري أكتر. gases that trap the heat of the sun، هي الغازات اللي بتحبس حرارة الشمس جوه الأرض. such as طبعا carbon dioxide ثاني أكسيد الكربون. ozone layer طبقة الأوزون، a layer of ozone that prevents dangerous radiation from the sun، اللي هي الطبقة اللي بتحيط بالأرض واللي بتحمي الأرض من الشمس. look almost straight forward يعني ينظر للأمام. seen simple. horrific يعني مرعب. shocking and upsetting. horrific. عندنا impact صدمة أو ممكن تأثير. the powerful or major influence or effect. ban يمنع to forbid somebody from doing or being part of something. إنك تمنع شخص إنه يشارك أو يعمل حاجة. beneficial يعني مفيد. having a good effect or influence. catastrophe يعني كارثة أو كارثة. a terrible disaster. efficient اللي هو كفء أو فعال. working well and producing good results. protection حماية. the state of being protected. alternative يعني متغير أو بديل. offering or expressing a choice. argument اللي هو نقاش أو جدال. an angry disagreement. severe قاسي أو شديد. very serious and bad. solution حل. the correct answer to a problem puzzle إلى آخره. emission بث أو إرسال أو انبعاث. the act of sending out something such as energy or gas. ماشي. investment استثمار. the outlay of money يعني زي المصاريف كده. usually for income or profit سواء طبعا للدخل أو الربح. opacity السمنة المفرطة. opacity excessive accumulation اللي هو التراكم المفرط. and storage أو تخزين of fat in the body تخزين الدهون في الجسم. ديزل اللي هو محرك الديزل. a vehicle that has a diesel engine هي المركبة أي وسيلة يعني نقل vehicle بيكون لها محرك ديزل. deforestation اللي هي التصحر أو قطع الأشجار the act of cutting down trees. corrode يعني يتآكل أو يصدأ. weaken eat away or destroy. دلوقتي مع قراءة درسنا اللي هيحكي لنا عن اختراع السيارات ويا ترى إيه الادفانتجز مميزات امتلاك سيارة وإيه الديسادفانتجز من زيادة أعداد العربيات الكتير من طبعا التلوث اللي طبعا بيؤدي إلى التلوث الهوائي وكمان بيعمل مشاكل في التنفس أو الجهاز التنفسي وبيصيب الأطفال بأمراض زي السمنة والسكر أو السكري. التغير المناخي بقى اللي احنا عايشينه كده. وإيه الاقتراحات اللي ممكن نعملها عشان نتغلب عن المشكلة دي، لأن أكيد طبعا مش هنقدر نستغنى عن السيارات ولكن في بدائل. هو بيقترح لنا تقريبا 5 حلول أو 5 بدائل، يعني إن إحنا مثلا share the car، يعني ما يبقاش كل واحد له سيارة، ممكن نتشارك السيارات، ممكن نستخدم البابليك ترانسبورت المواصلات العامة. ممكن إن إحنا طبعا walk نمشي أو cycling. كل دي بدائل. خلينا نسمع درسنا.
The age of the automobile. The car has become the most popular means of transport in the history of the world. Some people could not imagine life without a car. Others say that the world would be better off without them. Since Carl Benz introduced the first automobile powered by a gasoline engine in 1885, many people see a car as a necessity in their lives rather than a luxury. Benz began selling his motor car in 1888. In the 5-year period from 1888 to 1893, 25 were sold. In 2007, when sales were at their peak, 54,920,317 cars were sold worldwide. Certainly, owning a car has many advantages, but shouldn't we be concerned about the disadvantages? The number of cars on the road is a real problem, and as that number increases, the problem gets worse. The first, and probably the greatest problem, is that of pollution. The fuel exhaust fumes from a car's engine contain many chemicals or emissions such as carbon dioxide, CO2, sulfur dioxide, and lead. 900 million metric tons of CO2 is released into the atmosphere every year. This is a major contributor to air pollution, causing an increase in greenhouse gases and a decrease in the ozone layer. Greenhouse gases build up in the atmosphere and act like a blanket, trapping the sun's heat and causing the planet to warm up. We can see the results of this in more wildfires, extreme heat waves, and the melting of the polar ice caps, causing sea levels to rise. The ozone layer protects us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. Car emissions contribute to the thinning of the ozone layer that decreases our protection. In the USA, for example, car emissions are the second largest source of CO2. It is madness to think we can just go on producing more and more cars and ignore the damage being done. Cars' emissions also cause severe health problems. When emissions are breathed in, they are carried by the bloodstream around the body and can do serious damage. They are particularly harmful to the respiratory system. It has been estimated that in the UK, 24,000 premature deaths every year are caused by air pollution. In Holland, a study was carried out on 632 children aged 7 to 11. It was found that respiratory problems worsened as air pollution increased. Further health problems, such as diabetes and obesity, occur because of lack of exercise. Obesity in children has been increasing, and part of the cause is that they are taken everywhere by car. Walking and cycling are much healthier options. Many local councils and schools are working together to ensure that to school can be a safe, enjoyable experience. Surely, if parents are concerned about their children's health, they should leave the car at home and encourage their children to use their own 2 legs. A further disadvantage of the car is the dependence on oil. Already, sensitive environmental areas of the world have been invaded by the oil industry, and drilling has started as supplies elsewhere begin to dry up. The impact on the Arctic is a real concern. Peter Wadhams, Professor of Ocean Physics at Cambridge University, has spent a long time there studying the problem. He said, "If there is a serious oil spill under ice in the Arctic, it will be very hard, if not impossible, to stop it becoming an environmental catastrophe." Wouldn't we be foolish to ignore his warning? Just look at what happened at the Deepwater Horizon platform in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. 5 million barrels of harmful, dirty black oil were released into the sea, and it took 3 months to get it under control. Environmentalists said that the oil spill had happened the year before due to greed and carelessness. Have we learnt nothing? Ben Iliff, a polar campaigner for Greenpeace, said that a spill in the Arctic would essentially make dealing with something like Deepwater Horizon look almost straightforward. The Guardian newspaper held a poll in August 2010 asking, should drilling for oil be banned in sensitive environmental areas? A huge 85.7% of people who took part said that it should be banned and those areas should be protected at all costs. I would like to know how many of that 85.7% actually do something about it by giving up their cars, or at least using them as little as possible. There are many people, of course, who will argue that having a car is a necessity. People who live in remote rural communities, for example. Without a car, how would they get from place to place? They do have a point, but the solution lies not in every member of the family having a car and using it several times a day, but in an improved, cheap, and efficient public transport service. Governments are always talking about improving public transport, but talking is about all they do. If the problem of the increasing number of cars on the road is to be addressed, then money has to be spent on better bus and rail systems. You will be told that one of the major advantages is individual freedom. You can get in your car whenever you like and travel to wherever you like. You can go door to door without worrying about whether the train is on time or whether you will have to stand in the freezing cold at a bus stop. It sounds like a very good argument, but is it? When you consider the harm that the motor car is doing to the planet, people's health and the natural environment, the congestion in our towns and cities, the horrific motorway pile-ups, ask yourselves this: is it really such a hardship to have to wait for a bus or a train to come along? The motor car seems to be here to stay, at least until the oil runs out. But there are things we must do to slow down the damage. Car sharing, greater use of public transport, and greater investment in alternatives such as electric cars would greatly help the situation. Doing nothing is not an option. The problems are here now and they are increasing. Next time you are about to get in your car, stop and think, do I really have to drive? Consider the alternatives: a brisk walk, an energetic cycle, or use of public transport would be beneficial to you and the planet.
أوكي، أعتقد إن الدرس سهل جدا والموضوع مهم جدا. Doing nothing is not an option. لازم كلنا نشارك بالبدائل للسيارات الخاصة. طيب أوكي، طبعا هنحل الجزء اللي تشوز ده في الهوم وورك والنكست بيج. next page برضو. اوكي، والورك بوك exercises لحد كلمة جرامر، وده هيبقى بارت 2 إن شاء الله المرة الجاية. كان معكم مستر محمد سيف، وأشوفكم فيديو قادم ودرس جديد إن شاء الله. سلام.